So this is the first interlude on our record, and it's part of a two-part thing, kind of like what we've done on our previous album with I Drown in the Desert to Thirst for the Sea. I'm going to butcher this. This is in French, but it's Tout Comprendre, which means to understand all, and it's the song that immediately precedes Panic Room. Then the second interlude of our album is Tout Comprendre, which immediately precedes Orphan. And the reason that we chose these titles went back to the attacks that happened at the Eagles of Death Metal show. At the time of hearing that, I stumbled upon this quote from a lady, a feminist author in the early 1900s. I can't remember her name. She said this, which is, to understand all is to forgive all. In the wake of this incredible violence that's completely wrong and malicious and so sad and so disgusting that militants would target civilians, is this idea that we can't allow, when terrible acts of evil happen, we can't allow them to grow hatred in our heart. And that doesn't mean that we do nothing, of course. I believe that activism involves being active in fighting for justice, but I don't believe that we should ever let these things leave the stain of hatred on our hearts, because I believe that hatred only breeds hatred, and I believe that if we are to live by the sword, we're to die by the sword. These interludes are before the two songs that are really about war. One is, of course, Panic Room, being about PTSD and soldiers coming home, and Orphan is about the situation in the Middle East. And both of those two songs are the singles for this record, because I believe that all the illness that we discuss throughout this whole record comes back to the issue of violence and war. I don't think that you can understand the human condition without understanding how the culmination of illness or humans killing one another and the world that we're creating. These two songs, I guess you could say, facilitate the two major movements of war throughout the record, are kind of symmetrically placed as this whole record moves towards the middle of the Redivider and then back toward part 2 of the Inherit the Earth, Inhabit the Womb. That is Tout Comprendre, Tout Pardonner. Apologize for my French. Thanks.